Well, a very good morning, cruise nerds. We made it to our first port of call. Now, obviously, you won't see it out this window because we have a beautiful view of the ocean. But we did make it to Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, and we were actually just watching Good Morning Disney Magic just to get some information and what time is all ashore and all aboard time, even though we do have the Disney Navigator app. But we do enjoy watching the cruise director and assistant cruise director on channel 1. We just had room service come, so we had some toast, bagels, croissants, coffee, juice, just a quick little breakfast just so we could get started and head on down to Fathoms, because that is where guests who needs assistance as well as any disabilities that might need a ride over to the tram stop to get to the island. And here it's totally different from what I've been told and what I've been hearing from Castaway Cay. You're unable to walk, right, Mom? From the ship to the island, kind of like Castaway.
You can walk from the ship to the tram stop, and then you have to get on the tram stop.
Okay, so you have to get on the tram. There's not an option past that to walk, so you have the option to walk to the tram.
There's a nature trail, but I don't know if it's open. It's on the map.
So there is a map on the app, as well as a QR code at Port Adventures, as well as guest services. You can scan the QR code to get the map open. There, from what Mom is saying, there is a nature trail, but she's not 100% sure that it is open or not. It was not open when she came in October time. So it is actually on the farthest end of the island, right over here towards the bottom. So it looks like it's a nice, decent sized trail. So if we have time, depending, I might just take a quick glance at it, not walk the whole thing. So I will have to investigate this map. But if you do want a paper version, they do not advertise the paper versions. You can get it at guest services on deck 3 or 4, depending on what ship you're on. So we are actually just finalizing and wrapping up, and we're headed down the Fathoms. So see you in a minute, cruise nerds. Enjoy the view. Well, ahoy cruise nerds, and welcome to Lookout Key. So, we explored the island a little bit before coming over to Serenity Bay to have lunch, which is actually right behind me, if you can see a little bit. So we had burgers, of course the traditional barbecue that of course is well known over at Castaway Cay. And then they also had some kind of grilled corn. I didn't try that, but Mom liked that. They had sauerkraut, they had fries, hot dogs, hamburgers, and a few other items. They even had baked mac and cheese, which I did have, cruise nerds, and it actually tasted really good. And right now I am having vanilla bean ice cream, and it actually tastes pretty good. And you know, you can't beat vanilla ice cream on, you know, in paradise. Today it's very windy. You can probably hear a little bit of the wind and see a little bit of the palm trees in the background, cruise nerds, in the breeze there, in the wind. But right now, cruise nerds, I'm going to go finish up my ice cream before it melts all the way. But it's a beautiful island. I still am reserving my thoughts until I get to see a little bit more. Alright, cruise nerds, so thank you for being patient with me while I finish up that delicious ice cream. Mama Ronnie and I were actually talking about the ice cream. She had strawberry and I had vanilla. And we both agree it's actually better than the machine, like where you do the lever.
Real strawberries.
Because Mama Ronnie was saying in her ice cream it was real strawberries. Mine tasted like the vanilla that my ice cream is supposed to be. It was great. So, but anyways, cruise nerds, I'm just gonna give you like a quick little opinion. I will say, you know, Disney did do a nice job in making this island, or at least Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point, really nice. And you can definitely have that, you definitely feel like you're in the Bahamas. But I feel like it's more of a beach resort than it is like Castaway Cay. It's a different atmosphere, cruise nerds. Yeah, it definitely feels more like a beach resort, like not sandals, but like a nice, elegant resort, like Contemporary or Grand Floridian, but in the Bahamas. But overall, it's nice. It still has a very minor issue with the flies, but not as bad as it was when they first came, or when guests first came. So that has definitely improved from what I have seen in videos when it first opened, or first welcomed guests. We did eat here at Serenity Bay, like I mentioned. We ordered steak. You can actually order steak. Now you will have to talk to one of the crew members and just say, hey, just give them your stateroom number, your family name, and roughly where you're sitting, and someone will actually bring it to you, which is nice. That's definitely a plus. Anyways, cruise nerds. But overall, it's a nice area. But in the meantime, cruise nerds, we're going to wrap up here. We're actually going to go back to the ship, and we're going to relax. We're going to freshen up. We're probably going to go to a movie or two before going to Tangled tonight. Because we are excited that Tangled the Musical is back on for tonight. Yay! We're so excited. But anyways, cruise nerds, I will see you back on the ship. Well, ahoy cruise nerds, and welcome back to the Walt Disney Theater. So tonight is Tangled the Musical, as well as it's Pirate Night. As you can tell, we have our bandanas on and our shirts, which I will show you in just a little while. However, we're excited that Tangled is back on, and it's going to be at 5:45 tonight. But in the meantime, cruise nerds, this is where I'm going to pause the recording, because due to reasons, and also Well, one of the reasons being this is live theater. Want to respect the people around us. So, cruise nerds, I will see you after the show. Well, ahoy, cruise nerds. Welcome back to the stateroom real quick. We did have to drop off the popcorn bucket, but that's not why I am showing you me in the mirror. So right here is our shirt. So it's 2 of a kind. And it says, I am the reason why the rum is gone. So it's 2 of a kind. Me and Mama are twinsies tonight. So. Alright, cruise nerds. And also, so since tonight is Pirates Night, cruise nerds, we have Davy Jones as our towel animal for tonight. Sorry, cruise nerds, I just got a notification from the Disney Navigator app, a 15-minute reminder. So, but shout out to the housekeeping team here aboard the Disney Cruise Line fleet. They always do an amazing job here on board with these towel animals. Now we are headed back out because we gotta go take some photos. We gotta take advantage of this unlimited photo package. And with our pirate attire. Alright, cruise nerds, see you in the atrium. Alright, cruise nerds, so we just got done with the Rapunzel lantern shot. Oh, those are gonna turn out awesome. And magic pose, I believe it's going to be Pascal, or magic shot as they call it, magic shot with Pascal. So that was something that me and Mom were like, let's go take a look. We thought it was going to be a longer line, but it was not. So we're like, okay, take an opportunity, get in, you know, our individual shots as well as together. So we were happy about that, cruise nerds. So we're going to go take a look and see in the atrium, not Grand Hall, about more photos. See y'all in a minute. Well, very good evening, cruise nerds, and welcome back to the beautiful Animators Palate tonight. Now, tonight, like I said, it is Pirates of the Caribbean. As you can tell behind me, you can see different renderings in that are from the movies, as well as everything Pirates of the Caribbean, from the rides from around the world in our theme parks to Treasure Planet, Peter Pan, to anything, to Pirates of the Caribbean movies that were themed or based off the ride in the theme parks. And so those renderings are definitely beautiful. But let's talk about the menu that we had tonight. So it is pirate menu. Ronnie got a wedge for appetizer, and of course she got some crumbled blue cheese on that, so that was part of it. And then she got the grouper with a side of rice, which it looked really good tonight. It smelled good, and I just got the steak because this is not one of my favorite menus, but I do get steak tonight. And then I got the rum cake for dessert, and Mom got the macadamia nut cheesecake, I think, but it's macadamia nut. But in the meantime, cruise nerds, I will see you around. We are going to finish up my rum cake and Mom's macadamia nut, and we are going to head up. See y'all real soon up on deck.
Captain Hook, look, it's Mickey Mouse!
Well, ahoy, cruise nerds. We actually, the midship and aft elevators are pretty busy at the moment. So we decided to come forward here on deck 10. So you can kind of see outside. We're up on deck 10, which I am going to discuss that tomorrow, cruise nerds. While we're in Nassau, we're going to walk around. And then also, one last thing. Deck 10 forward. This is where Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is. But now we're going to go down to the room. We're going to settle in for the night. No.
3.
We can go 3 and then midship, Mama. But anyways, cruisers, we're going to call it a night, I think. Enjoy Cove Cafe tomorrow, since we didn't really have, I wouldn't say too much time, but we didn't really have an opportunity. Let me phrase it that way. We haven't had an opportunity to enjoy upstairs. And also, maybe tomorrow night after we pack, we're also going to do Till We Meet Again tomorrow night, Cruise Nerds. Cruise Nerds, we're pausing because the waves, Mama, we're rocking really good tonight, Cruise Nerds.
Actually, Dex, come back and see me.
So anyways, Cruise Nerds, there's a lot of things that we're going to do tomorrow. So tomorrow's a little bit more busy, even though tomorrow's the last day. So tomorrow we're in Nassau, but we're not going to get off, which is a plus. So we're going to do Royal Gathering. And then, like I mentioned, Cove Cafe, get some coffee. And we're going to pack the whole 9 yards. But we're probably going to just relax. And tomorrow night is Disney Dreams, an Enchanted classic. So that is one of our favorite shows. And it holds a special, dear place in our hearts. So we're excited about seeing that again. And we're also going to say our goodbyes. It's going to be very hard this time because we got to see a lot of crew that we haven't seen in a long time. Anyways, Cruise Nerds, this is where I'm going to call it a night. So see y'all all in the morning in the port of Nassau. Bye for now.